everyone?
Doing good.
Awesome.
Yeah, great.
I'm letting everyone roll in as we go, so just give us a couple moments. Welcome to the webinar, everyone. Thank you so much for being on time. This is exciting. We are going to give it just a couple moments for everyone to come through, but as we do, my name is Lisa. I'm going to be the host today and the MC, which insert title that you want to use there. Make sure you're engaging in the chat. We got some exciting news for that there. And I just want to confirm in the chat, can everybody hear me okay? Beautiful. I love when people can actually hear my voice. As the team knows, I am a self-proclaimed yapper, but that makes me great for this job. Awesome.
We got
Well,
Rose from Poplight in Denver. That's cool.
ooh, that is cool. Yeah, I mean, we're going to start it off in a couple of moments as people run in, but if you do want to post where you're joining in from, I think that's always exciting to see who's the furthest and what time zones people are coming in from. I think as a panelist, we can all kind of go through that. We're going to introduce ourselves officially in just a moment, but we can kind of say where we're in. So I'm Lisa, and I'm actually calling in from Toronto, so it is cold right now is what I can confirm. What about you, Mark?
Yeah, I'm Mark. I'm in Redding, California, Northern California. So I saw somebody talk about coffee. I'm all about the coffee, so yeah, excited to be here today, guys.
I'm
Bar
wishing.
Brewis on. Oh,
Oh,
Gina, you go
sorry. Bar, I
first.
was actually going to comment on you. I was like, I thought my outfit was cute with my pink headphones today, but then you got on and I'm like, wow, I really should have done a little bit more with the outfit to try to just compete right now.
We can trade whenever.
I love it. I absolutely love
Those are
it.
sweet headphones too. You go first,
Thanks.
Gina.
Hey guys, I'm Gina. I'm in New York City. What were we doing? Where we're at?
Yeah, where we're at right now, we're going to dive into like the more fun things in just a moment, just giving a moment or two for people to tune in.
And then Bar, I'm calling in from Aspen, Colorado, where it's cold, but we wish it was colder and we had more snow. We've been in a drought for like the last month or so. So yeah, do your snow dances for us if you can.
I'll send all the
Totally.
Toronto your way.
Please.
Hi everyone, I'm Ray. I'm from New York, just a little bit north of the city in Westchester. So I guess I'm halfway between Beekman and the city. No, I don't know where Beekman is actually. I saw someone post there.
That's so cool. Well, I think that's a good place to kind of start. I'm going to share my screen so everybody can see it. If the chat can also confirm for me, are we able to see what I'm sharing?
Yeah, looks good.
Beautiful. Well, my name is Lisa, as I mentioned, and I am going to be the MC of the day. So very excited for everybody to be tuning in. We are thrilled to have you. I want to kick us off with, as we're introducing ourselves, if everybody can put their 3 favorite emojis in the chat. That's just to be a little bit fun. Your 3 favorite emojis, they can describe you as a person or your work. I know for me, it's the heart hands emoji and the sparkles that really summarizes my personality in a nutshell. And this is only going to be the first part of you using the chatter, because one of our favorite things to do when we host webinars is actually doing the most valuable chatter. And the most valuable chatter does not mean you're talking the most, but you're actually engaging in the conversation, chatting along with the team members that are in there or just the people that are adding value. So that's where, yes, you can talk a lot, but we want to make sure you're adding value when you're in there as well. So very excited to see who gets to win that. It's not just any winning either. It's going to be a swag bag with some gift cards as well, some merchandise and swag. So exciting to send it over. We'll have details at the end, so you do have to stay around. But based off of the emojis I'm seeing, I think this is going to be a very lively chat and a battle to the finish. So I'm excited. But without further ado, we are not here just to talk about emojis. We are not here just to talk about ourselves. We're actually here to talk about some really important things around converting our customers, optimization. So we are going to kick it over to our amazing partners that it is. I'm excited to announce that we're here with our partners and panelists from KnoCommerce, Stay.ai, as well as Black Crow and Because, and I'm going to be your MC. So without further ado, I am going to, well, yap about myself a little bit more because that's what I do best apparently. I'm actually the partnerships manager here at Because, and I am somebody who is highly obsessed with golf. That's probably my personality in the summer. and I have 2 wiener dogs. So those are some fun things about me, but I'm going to pass it over to Mark to allow you to continue on.
Hey guys, it is so great to be here with all of you. You're probably not surprised by my office that I'm a Star Wars fan, but really excited to be here. Just real brief about me. I used to be the e-commerce director at the Adventure Challenge. That's actually how I found because I was there and got to work with Ray as well. So Ray and I go back beyond just these webinar days. Girl dad of one, and yeah, I'm looking forward towards May the 4th. If you guys are Star Wars fans, you know May the 4th is coming up. So that's about me, but you'll hear more from me as I'm talking today. So I'll pass it off to Gina's up next.
Hey guys, I am also a fellow yapper. I love any opportunity I get to yap about various things. When I'm not yapping about retention and D2C things, it is a lot about fashion and clothing and shopping and bags I can't afford. So if anybody would like to ever talk about any of those things, please hit me up. But I am the founder of Stay.ai and also co-founder of Lunar Solar Group. I ran our retention team there. So I've been building retention programs for like the last 10 years. Very passionate about product innovation. I love creeping on our product team and, putting all of my input in, even when they're like, Gina, please get out of here and follow a process if you're going to tell us what to build. And then I'm also an avid snowboarder and mountain biker. So Bar, maybe at some point I will make it out to Aspen if you guys get some snow.
Please do. Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Awesome. Over to you, Bar.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, Bar, been in D2C for 10 years, helped start sumo.com, Sumo Me back in the day. That's like when Flavio and Shopify were just getting started. And actually, funny story, No started because of Gina out of Lunar Solar Group. So thank you, Gina, for all the support over the years. And then, yeah, live in Aspen. If anyone wants to come ski, we are hosting Adidas ski at the end of March. There's Aloe Yoga and XClad and some really massive brands coming. If you're interested, reach out. Just shameless plug there.
I mean, a snowboarding event is always a fun event, so I might need to get my butt over to Aspen, is what I'm learning from this.
I love that play on D2C. That's awesome. Hey everyone, I'm Ray. I'm the founding team here at Black Crow. Been in ecom, I guess, since the last 5 years-ish. Past life as an engineer. My golden is my first child. I do have a son too, but don't tell him that. And I kind of like, I feel like I want to take something from everyone that just said something. Like my background is a gym, but I am definitely not a gym rat. Unlike Mark, who loves Star Wars and his background, so I just like I pretend over here.
That's
It's
great.
one way you might be. It's just like optimizing it and you're speaking it into fruition, I think is what that is. Or it's just a good.
Willing the way, yeah.
Well, now that we've gotten the fun part out of the way, but it's my favorite part to get to know the team, I want to dive into what we're all here to chat about. So, want to take it away that each of us is going to share some insights, our expertise, but also really want to encourage the chat. If something comes up and is on your brain, make sure you're chatting in there. We will be keeping an eye on it throughout. So, without further ado, I'm going to start with you, Mark, actually. So, how can brands use personalization to boost first-time customer conversions?
Yeah. Thanks so much, Lisa. This is a really great conversation topic. I'm really excited to dive through all these questions. We're going to be going back and forth on some of these. But with this one here of like how can brands like actually convert first-time customers, personalization is going to be key when I'm talking about this. So personalization when it comes to first-time customers, we have to think about it like when someone lands on our site, right? All of us are either agency or we're working with brands or we are a brand. When somebody lands on our site, they're looking for a reason to either buy or an excuse to leave. And our job is to like really try to remove that, remove that option for them to leave and really give them confidence to move forward with the purchase. One way that we've seen this work really well is like addressing the common concerns. So whether it's like fit, if you're in the apparel industry, taste, if you're in like the food and beverage industry, talking about return policies, like bringing all that stuff right up front. So that way it really highlights whether it's the guarantees or the objections they may have and having it personalized to them. Now, I'll just be real brief with this last piece here, but this is where tapping into unique Klaviyo rules or UTM rules really come into play because we wouldn't necessarily treat a Facebook user the same way that we would treat somebody who's been on our email list, who's been there being nurtured and everything like that. So for instance, top of funnel Facebook traffic customer may be coming in and needing the like why choose us messaging, where an email subscriber is probably just needing some more information around the social proof or around the return policy. They've already kind of like chose you guys because they've given an email. Now they just need that extra little, nudge to go actually complete their purchase. So a lot of this personalization that we've done, we've seen brands, see a 7% conversion rate increase in just over a few days by implementing some of this personalization to those traffic sources and really overcoming those objections up front. But enough about me. I want to pass it off to Bar at No because I know he's got quite a bit of good things to say on this one.
Yeah, that was great, Mark. And yeah, definitely agreed. Personalization and using that data to drive personalization is super important. Yeah, my tidbit. So Knows a post-purchase survey tool. And one thing that I like to say is that in order to personalize your messaging around first-time customers, you should really listen to your past customers, right? Most of your customers are willing to talk to you when people start to first use No, they're kind of blown away that like 40 to 45% of people will actually fill out your post-purchase survey. And when you start to ask customers questions, they give you so many data points, right? So I'll give you two quick questions that I like to ask. And the first one is going to be, why did you buy today? Right. And you'd be so surprised as to why customers are buying your product. I think, as brand founders, as brand marketers, I think we know why people are using our products and why they're buying. But the reality is that one changes over time, that changes product to product. And two, a lot of times they actually end up using it in a different way or buying it for a different purpose than you originally intended. And so, just asking that in an open-ended response question, you'll see, some people won't answer it. Some people will skip it. Some people will just give a few lines. Some people will actually write out full-on essays. And I actually love taking all of those responses, throwing it into chat GPT and trying to figure out like, what are some commonalities there, right? And so, yeah, again, use those existing customers to drive first time purchases, and you'll be so surprised as to some of the things they'll tell you.
I think that's such a great call out. It's true. The best people you can learn from is the person that's already shopping. And if I think of like a brick and mortar, you have the opportunity when somebody's purchasing, like, why did you do this? And so like taking that online is just such a valuable insight there. So really cool. Also, chat
Totally.
obviously being all
Yeah, especially for like brand new products or brand new product lines, right? Like as an example, Hexclad, they just they're coming out with like a grill line, like specifically around grilling. And they're surveying their customers, asking like, why are they buying it? How do they intend to use it? How often do they intend to use it? All that information is getting piped directly into their PDP. And so yeah, just ask your customers. They're willing to tell you everything.
I love that. On to Black Crow and Stay AI, more importantly, Gina and Ray. How can brands reduce friction during a first-time customer's shopping journey? And
Yeah, so good question. Oh, sorry about that. So I think there's kind of two ways that I want to think about this. There's like continuous contextualization and then simplification, which I think kind of both overlap here. So everyone kind of spends a lot of money on new customer acquisition, and it's only getting harder and harder. And you spend a lot of time getting that ad creative, your image, your video, your ad copy. You're trying to like use your selling propositions, unique selling propositions in there. And you're spending a lot of time and you're getting those customers to click on it and come to your website. But oftentimes what is happening is there's like a disconnect between what they saw in that ad and then like where they're being taken to or what they see on your website. And you're introducing friction because yes, there might be some of that information from that ad on your website, but it's also drowned out by a whole lot of other things that are on your website that could distract these net new customers of yours. So I think there's a good example here of one of our one of our partners. They're a weight loss company, and they sell supplements for it. And they have two distinct USPs. One's around kind of like image-based weight loss, and then another's around like healthy living weight loss. So they have two very different experiences in their ads. And if they were to take someone to a page that just kind of shows a before and after picture, they're only talking to really just one of those customers and not both. Although it might, highlight some of the healthy living habits and styles, it's still kind of drowned out by just having everything all combined. So having different experiences for those different ads and continuing that contextualization from that ad into that landing page, I think is extremely important. And that also just goes with simplification, right? You're simplifying the experience for the end user. You're putting what they saw in that ad front and center for them. And then, yes, you may want to include some like bestsellers for your first time purchasers, but you want to make sure that's kind of like secondary to what they see and what is the main purpose of why they initially clicked on that ad to get to your site in the first place. But
Right.
Gina, I don't know, I'm sure you got something. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could not agree more. Back like when I was running email, that was like one of just the biggest points of friction was like you would make these beautiful crafted emails, you'd have so much in them, like so much design, and then you'd like kick them to a PDP that just did not match the vibe or the aesthetic or the storytelling of what you were trying to do. Like we would send the really great ingredient highlights, and then you would send them to the PDP that does not mention anything about the ingredients of the actual product and was optimized for something else. And it just created such a disconnect that we see the conversion rates are so much higher when you send it like dedicated landing pages, you really match up that messaging. So I think being very, very aware of the traffic you're sending and like you don't want to make it crazy complicated and make it like too hard to like, control and know where everything is with 100 different landing pages, but just knowing like between your ad creative, your email, like where are you sending people to the site and like what is that experience and making sure that it's cohesive. I think also for me, knowing that you will likely get a ton, of organic, somebody will see, the brand somewhere else and then they'll come in. If you have a larger product catalog, like I need a bestsellers. Like there's nothing worse if I go to like a skincare or makeup where I just immediately get overwhelmed because they have like 100 different products and everything's all over the place. And I'm like trying to navigate the site and I'm just like, okay, what is like the top? Like what do people love from this brand? Every brand has the couple like hero products. So I am big on, especially like when you're navigating from the main page, like making sure you do have like a bestsellers or something like that, highlighting a few key products so people know really what the gateway product is for your brand. I'm trying to think of anything else that's very, very top of mind. And then like, I guess just like guiding people through, I'll probably get to this a little bit later in the webinar, but if you are selling somebody into subscription on the first time, like please make sure the cadence is smart and makes sense. And don't just sell somebody into a 2-week subscription because you want them to. Like think about that entire first purchase buying behavior.
That's so good. And like looking at the chat, I think you've hit some like clear points that like the girlies are resonating with as far as like shopping goes, but also like the solutions around it. So I really love that lens. Mark, you unmuted. Did you want to jump in there for a second?
No, I'm good.
Okay, cool. I saw the unmute and I was like, I just don't want to overtalk someone. But getting ready for the next one, how can subscribers improve first purchases and retention?
Yeah, this is really great. I'm excited to lead this one, then I'll pass it back to you, Gina. But subscriptions aren't just about making that recurring revenue. It's about building trust with the customers. First time customers are coming to site, they're really kind of questioning maybe like, do I need this? Like, is it going to be part of my daily routine? Whatever it might be that you guys are having the subscription built for, right? It's so much around that consumer packaged goods. But subscriptions really work best when we remove any of the hesitation from the customer, right? The key is like, how do we make subscriptions like flexible and easy for them to say yes? So one brand that we work with at Because had just launched subscription and they had a lot of loyal customers, which was great. And they had definitely a lot of new first-time customers coming in, which was really awesome. But what they did is they highlighted the ease of use of subscription because all of us are not we're not unfamiliar with subscription, right? Amazon is subscribe and save all day long, but it's too common of a thing. And so what this brand did is they really highlighted some key USPs on how easy it is to skip or pause subscription, how easy it is to manage the subscription, and to really make it personalized. They could interchange product, they could really start and stop anytime that they wanted to. So it made such an easy yes for somebody just to go like, oh yeah, I will subscribe, I will save today. I do want this being sent to me. So what was so cool about this, I have some numbers to share with you guys. They saw a 7.38% lift in conversion rate just on these product pages, and they saw a $7,000 revenue boost in just 6 days by having this call out. It was just like an additional call out powered by Because that was really actually had like a literal arrow pointing up to the subscribe and save, but it was really speaking to all those hesitations of like, well, do I really want to subscribe? Am I going to be locked in? Am I going to be caught in this subscription model? So, like the short of it is like when customers feel in control, they're more likely to subscribe. And the pro tip here on this, and then I'll pass it to Gina, is that you want to message subscription differently to returning customers versus new customers. Returning customers already love your product. They already are like bought in. They've already purchased. I think about Liquid Death. I have a subscription to Liquid Death. I already love their peach tea. I already know I love it. I just need the ease of use of like how quickly and like I never want to run out. So like how quickly can I get it? How easy is it to manage? But first time customers, they need that like how can I help reduce that friction point? So all comes back to personalization at the end of the day. But I'll
Yeah,
pass it off to you, Gina. Yeah.
I totally agree. Having the benefits of subscription, like what the subscription program means, like all of that, like right within the buy box, I think is so important to like serve up to the customer. Like, what are they actually getting? Can they cancel at any time? Like, you have to serve all of that up. And also, I think I just said it, but I want to say it again. Please guide people to the right cadence. Like if you know it's probably a 30 or a 60-day like cycle for someone to go through it, on your options, don't be afraid to like do a little like most common cadence or like most used cadence or default to that. I think a lot of brands will try to get people into like, like a 2-week subscription for a product that really is not an every 2-week type of thing. And then you just see a ton of unsubscribe. People are trying to skip. Like people just don't love that experience. So if you're trying to get somebody to buy a subscription on the first time, be transparent. Have like a little asterisk on like most common cadence or most used cadence is a really great place to start. I also like love when brands can do some type of like starter kit to subscription. I think that's a great use case for a first time subscription. So we see this like most commonly with like a coffee or a tea where there's some type of mixer or something like that. But I think that there's ways for people to get creative with what it should be. If it's skincare, is there some type of little like scalp like applicator thing or something that is like a one-time product that goes out in like some type of starter kit and then into a refill that really makes people feel like they're like doing a program, like they're like really starting something with you and then they're getting this refill pack. I also think education around like why subscription can be good for some products. So if I think about supplements, for example, for me, my daily vitamin, like, yes, I absolutely forget it, but I feel like my subscription keeps me accountable. It comes every 30 days. There's 30 vitamins in there. Like when I get that refill and I like know that I still have a lot, I'm like, I was a really bad vitamin taker this month. And I know that. And like all of their messaging about it is very tailored to like, you need to stay on this. So I think that guiding customers through it and like kind of pushing that messaging of like subscriptions can form like accountability to taking some type of supplement or something like that is a really good way to view it. And I would love to see like more brands do that. But I think that all can really help with retention on the first time purchase.
I love that so much. And genuinely, like you are resonating with like the shopper in me, but also the tech person in me of it's true. We want to know the cadence of when something is happening. We want to know, hey, am I getting something a little extra because I am subscribing for the first time? So it's like all those like incentives just really lean in and help. So I love those perspectives. Over to Ray at Black Crow and Bara KnoCommerce. How can data-driven insights help brands turn first-time visitors into repeat customers?
Yeah, great question. So with this, I think about it as like segmentation being key here and using whatever data you have to try to segment your customers to figure out what's the right like marketing communication, content in that communication, and then like products that you want to actually push to them to do this. So one like practical example here might be like trying to break out your customers, your first time customers into 2 buckets, like high lifetime value customers and low lifetime value customers. Now you can do predictions, you can use predictions like we have at Black Crow, or you can just use heuristics to like kind of make your segments in Klaviyo and figure out like who's high value, potential high value, and who's low value. And then an example here might be for these high value customers, you might want to actually push them down that subscription path because they are loving your brand. They are likely to, engage and purchase from you. So you could push them down that subscription path. You could push them down higher AOV paths, right? Give them bundles that they might want to purchase together, really help them increase their average order value. And then on the flip side, on those like low predicted lifetime value customers, you may not actually want to push the subscription route to them. You might want to push a one-time purchase route. You might want to push some of your most popular products that maybe they have shown interest in but didn't actually purchase, recovering their carts or seeing what they have viewed in the past, and just like re-engaging them with that aspect of it. And then on the timing side, I think this one is actually really key and important in marketing communications, is like when's the right time to actually engage them. It's so easy to get an unsubscribe from an SMS if you get it wrong. So for like looking at what they have purchased in the past, for example, you could probably gain insights based on what have your other customers who purchased this product, like when did they actually come back and re-engage with your website and your product, and use that to inform your kind of timing aspect of it. Now, there are a lot of tools out there that can do this, but you can also just use heuristics to do it as well. So I think it's really key to nail that timing. Otherwise, you are likely to turn off your customers, which is not what you want to do. But I know, Bar, you probably have some good intel from some surveys that your customers are filling out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and agreed on that timing piece, for sure. I think that's really the biggest data point that we can drive through surveys, is trying to understand how are people using your product, how often are they using it, and then something that a lot of people don't think about is how many people are using it. So I'll just give a quick example. We've got Who Gives a Crap that uses No. If you're not familiar with them, go check them out. Really cool brand, making sustainable toilet paper in like cool packaging and really cool branding. And they actually get even like creative with the way that they ask the questions. And they're asking how many bums in your household use the toilet, and it's from like 1 to 10. And most people, like 50% or so, have 2 or less. But it's still like 50% of people still have like 3, 4, 5, and 6 people in their household. And what we found is it's actually really interesting. The more people that you have, obviously, the faster that you go through your like toilet rolls, and therefore the timing can be more accurate. Like you might want to ask them to rebuy or enroll in a subscription. But we've also seen that when people buy more packs of toilet, they go through them faster. And then it's not just for toilet paper. That can be for, supplements. That can be for like gum. If you end up buying 8 packs of gum, you're usually a power user, and you're actually going to go through that 8 packs faster than if you were to buy 1 pack of gum. And so, yeah, asking questions like how many people are in your household, asking questions like, is this a gift? And understanding, is this, a him for her purchase or her for him purchase? And being super personalized with that messaging, and then also using that data to time the messaging for either a repeat purchase or even, an upsell from a one-time purchase into a subscription.
Yeah, I think that's so key. And it's just so interesting seeing, I love the humor in the like how many bums. And it's just, how do we make, I think with your lens, like, how do you actually get people to engage to give you the feedback that you want? And it's like those little quips and the little funny ways. Like, I don't do every survey, but I'd probably go through that because I thought it was funny and I want to like keep doing it. So it's the creative lens of like how to continue to keep getting data in like new creative ways as well, which I think you lean into really, really wonderfully.
For sure. Yeah, that same company, Who Gives a Crap, the last question that they ask, which I don't think is actually driving any like revenue for them, is they ask if you're a scruncher or a folder of your toilet paper. And yeah, just like, it's good to bring humor into your brand, and yeah, and we get to see that data as well, which is fun.
I'm going to take a brief pause just to check in on the most valuable chatters. So the chat has been going off, which is great, and people are answering questions and giving questions. So thank you so much for that. The two that are currently in the lead are Taylor as well as Cornelda. And I apologize on pronunciation if I didn't get that right. But you two are currently like going off in the chat. So just as a little, we have 2 questions left. So continue to be engaged, but I want to give a little race tally to see who is chatting the most so far. And now over to because.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I think Ray and I are about to start a new business together, so watch out, guys. We need to solve the diaper cadence
the
subscription
diaper
thing.
prices.
Oh my gosh. It's like like to your point, right? You never have it's either you have way too much or you don't have enough where you're like, oh my gosh, are we gonna be able to make it to the store today? Um,
I
yeah.
have my dog food on subscription and I can order it early when I think I'm running out, and I think that's the best thing because I never seem to get it right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it is great to be able to do that. But let's talk about, so how can you turn one-time buyers into loyal customers? I'm going to use an example from the last brand that I was at, which was the Adventure Challenge. Um, what's really great about this experience, so like, turning one-time customers and turning one-time buyers into repeat customers, it's all about the experience and it's all about like really holding their hand, right? A lot of us, when we are consumers, when we come back on this site, we really want it to be treated differently, right? We want to have that experience where it's like we're not just the average Joe coming back. So it's like imagine going to your favorite restaurant where your waiter recognizes who you are and remembers your favorite dish, and then can also like make recommendations based off of your favorite dish. As a child growing up, we went to the same restaurant every weekend and we became like family with the waiter and they just remembered. Like we didn't have to order, off the menu because she just knew. So like what we did at the Adventure Challenge, we had a problem where we had our best-selling product and our best-selling product was so great. We had a lot of first-time customers on that product, but then we had the sequel to it that just had a really hard time getting the same adoption rate to it. But we were treating the same experience, like it was the same experience for whether it was a first-time buyer or a repeat customer. So we actually leveraged because we tapped into Klaviyo data, really did some on-site personalization to welcome back those first-time people that had bought in the first product and overcame their objections on why they maybe didn't want to buy the second product. We actually created a whole blog article because we dove deep into the Reddit threads. I'm not exaggerating. We dove deep into Reddit and found a Reddit thread of all of the objections on like why somebody wasn't wanting to buy the sequel product. We wrote a blog article about it. We displayed that blog article specifically to those people tapping the Klaviyo rules. And what we did is we actually saw a massive increase of 9.33% conversion rate lift on that product page for that product when we overcame those objections for those customers and really spoke to those repeat customers. So it's what we've been talking about all day long. It's really kind of identifying who's coming on site, personalizing that experience for them, and treating them like the VIP customer that they really are. And that's how we really turn those first time customers into loyal customers. So there's my soapbox for you guys, but I'll pass it over to Bar at No.
Love it. Yeah, I think nothing groundbreaking here. As you've probably heard from me 3 other times, ask your customers, right? And specifically for this, I would look at NPS, right? Like ask your customers, do they like you or do they not like you? And if they like you, like you should do more with them. So we can deliver NPS a couple of different ways, whether it's through email or whether if someone's already bought from you, you can ask them directly on the post-purchase page, or you can even deliver it via email upon delivery. But the key here is just ask them and they'll tell you, right? And 7+ is what we typically like to say are promoters. Those guys are already loyalists. They already like your product. And there's so much you can do there, right? You can ask them to refer a friend. You can give them more loyalty points. You can even ask them for UGC content. There's a million and one things you can do to get them to be more engaged. Anyone that's 3 and below, that would be a detractor, someone that has had a bad experience with your product or your brand. And that's where like I would start to set up automations, right? Like that should be a personalized message from the CEO that is trying to get ahead of the problem. hey, what's, what we saw that you didn't love your experience with our brand. Is there anything we can do to turn that around? Right. And so, yeah, again, nothing innovative here. Ask your customers, they'll tell you if they like you or if they don't. And if they like you, definitely lean in. And if they don't, also lean in even harder, right? And so that's pretty much it.
I love that. Well, we've hit our final moment. This is our last question as we're diving into this conversation. And genuinely, like, I love that there's been consistent threads throughout all of it, because it just goes to show you that it's not one magic sauce. It's a few different elements that just need to be consistently done. And I think that's been like a really great thread to see go through this conversation. So I'll give it over to you, Gina, on what's one proven tactic brands can implement immediately to increase retention after a first purchase. I think you're muted.
Great. I said, well, the problem with this question is that I actually have like 7 different tactics, but I will keep it short and sweet for the sake of everyone's time and this webinar. My number one, maybe I'll give like 2, but my number one is testing a free gift on order number 2. We've just seen this be really, really impactful for brands. So we talked a bit about doing like a free gift on the first order, like some type of kit, that type of thing. If you have a churn problem going into order number 2, finding something that you can give away as a gift, a product that costs you maybe less than $2 if you have the good AOV to support it, A/B testing a free gift on that second order and letting customers know immediately once they've checked out on the first order that they have that gift. Make sure it's there if they log in to cancel. We have seen that work wonders for retention after the first purchase and getting a ton of people over to the second order. I mean, I've seen it be as extreme as an 80% lift in conversion on the second order, but the more like average is like a 30 to 50% lift, which is crazy. But that is real. So I really, really suggest doing that. And then I think as like a bonus one, I would say just making sure that you have a cancellation survey turned on. And listen to that, and then like think about what people are saying there, and using that feedback will really, really help improve retention, especially if you narrow it down to like why people are canceling on order number 2. Most of the time it's going to be because they have too much product. So making sure that there is some type of skip or correct cadence really could be a huge unlock for you there.
Absolutely. Over to you, Ray.
Yeah, I love that idea, Gina, on like adding that free gift with purchase on that first one to like increase retention before it even happens almost, which is really cool. Great idea. But beyond like the marketing communications, what I think is really important for those first time customers to like nail that, as I was talking about before, it's when they get to your website, it's kind of taking what Mark was talking about earlier with like that personalization, but it's like giving them a completely different experience than what they saw the first time almost, but like making it so that they understand what it is still. So an example here could be like taking what they have purchased in the past, making it front and center, like, hey, maybe they weren't subscribed to it. Make it front and center with an easy like reorder or subscribe and save button right at the top of the page. So they see like, hey, like, what I purchased in the past. I literally can click a button and subscribe and save, or, make a one-time purchase of this. And then like going beyond that, they may not always want to buy the, most recent item that they purchased. So showing them what they have expressed interest in the past, reclaim your cart, having a button so they can like repopulate their cart with what they had previously, or like showing them what they viewed in the past. So like starting with like the most specific items and then kind of getting like lower and lower specificity as they kind of like maybe go down the page and like they're browsing through your website. I think those are really key tactics that you can take. And then one other one that you'll probably thank me for right after you implement this is pre-populating their information at checkout. Just helps reduce the friction so much and will help you increase your conversion rates. And it's so simple, right? You have all of this information on your customers in terms of like their billing address and payment info and stuff. Use that to your advantage. And when they go into checkout, pre-populate it and you'll see, your conversion rates increase pretty easily. So it's the marketing communications to get them to your website, but then it's the personalization once you're there.
Absolutely. I think it's so true. I saw a LinkedIn post recently, which is talking exactly that, of people abandon cart so quickly now if it's too many steps. And it's because we're used to this world of being able to click and just proceed with no effort. So great call out on like making that personalization piece, just making it easy to go. Well, those were the combos that we had, and there's still a little bit more to go, but I think I want to wrap this up with one takeaway from each of our presenters. I think we touched on a lot of great things, but I think everybody has a favorite or something they're most passionate about. And I think it's always a great takeaway for the audience as well, for like each presenter to just kind of share, like, when you walk away today, what's that one actionable item that you want to recommend? And I know, Ray, you just said one, so I'm going to put you on the spot for a second. But I'll go in order of the names on the bottom here, just so everybody knows what order they're going to go in. Mark, that does put you first, but I think you've had a moment to think on it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be brief, but I love the TV show Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso, there's this point in there where he says, be curious, not judgmental. And it's been throughout the common theme through all of this, right? Be curious about your customers when they come on site. Why are they not buying? Why are they buying? When they do buy, be curious, ask questions, understand. Then how can you take those learnings to apply them to the site? And then if customers cancel their subscription, stay curious there as well. Don't get judgmental and be like, dang, everybody's canceling at this point. Start looking for those trends. So that I'll keep it so brief because I just wanted to like stick with you guys. But if we call all stay curious, be curious, and not judgmental, that's where we'll win.
I love that. Over to you, Ray.
Yeah. So I think this goes back to what I was first talking about, which is like, don't surprise your first time customers when they land on your website. Give them what they asked for. You spent so much effort and time showing or creating like that enticing experience to get them to come to your website. Utilize that on your core website or through a landing page to really drive home the selling, or the proposition that they wanted in the first place, or the value that they wanted in the first place. Sell it and make sure that it's a continuous experience, and that will yield a lot more first-time customers.
I think these takeaways might be my favorite portion of all of this. Pass it over to you, Gina.
I think we covered a ton of really great stuff, and a good way to kind of ground yourself and just get a reality check. And my takeaway will be, have like your mom or a friend who is not in the D2C community go on the website and subscribe to a product and then try to skip their next order and see, just get the live feedback. Feel free, like sit with them, let them record themselves doing it and just see what they think about the buying experience. I think sometimes we can get like very in our heads, like we know this ecosystem so well, we kind of like know what to look for. So use somebody who like works just in some type of ecosystem and have them go through it and actually give you the real feedback.
I love that. I'm gonna go get my mom to subscribe to something, or like even as a gift, I'll just gift her a subscription because I need to get her something, and that's the perfect like undercover stuff.
Yes.
I love that so much.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like we're also in brand builders too. You're like just so deep in the weeds that you're blind to what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So having someone that is like your mom or some parent is super powerful. I'll wrap it all up with back to Mark's point in Ted Lasso, stay curious, ask questions. Your customers will tell you what they want and what they don't want. Put your ego to the side. I think that's like a huge piece of that. Ask away and you'll be surprised.
I love that so much. I'm going to stop sharing my screen here because I think all faces can be seen and loved for when we announce our most valuable chatter. So I hope everybody has found value in this, and like, please reach out to any one of us. We're going to make sure we're sending out recap emails with our websites as well as resources. I know all of us do have different versions of free trials as well. So if you heard something that you were excited about, each of our teams will be following up and reaching out. And we really just want to use this as a way to educate all of you on a different lens and different perspective, but two, if you were interested in a piece of the conversation, our teams are here to chat. We really do want to get to connect with some of the people that were so engaged in this. And I genuinely think this wins as the most valuable chatter as a whole. This chat blew up, and I think I had some great laughs as I was hosting, so thank you for that. But without further ado, it's actually Taylor who was the most valuable chatter in the sense of talking the most, adding value. It was a close call. We did have a couple people in the back end vetting this for us as we went. But very, very excited to see you. I'm going to drop my email if you want to just reach out to me so that we can set up sending that gift your way. But this was an incredible webinar, and it's been so lovely to have all of you for the last 45 minutes. So thank you for taking the time to chat with us. And we will be hosting more throughout the year. So keep an eye out on all of our faces, because all of us are very involved in the webinar spaces and just adding value to the space. So find us on LinkedIn, check in, because we do want to connect with you more than just today. So thank you so much, and have a really great day, everyone.
Thanks,
See
Bye,
ya.
everyone.
guys.
Bye, everyone.